DNA is considered the genetic code of all living things. Genetics refers to anything related to heredity. The genetic code DNA stores the cell's program that is passed from generation to generation. To represent a trait of an organism, you have to study which genes were contributed by the mother and which by the father. Humans have one trait from their mother and one from their father of all their characteristics. There are two possibilities of traits, dominant and recessive. Dominant traits show through with at least one of the two genes contributed to an offspring. They can have two dominant traits also. Recessive traits show through if both the genes contributed are recessive. Scientists usually use an uppercase letter to represent the dominant trait and a lowercase letter to represent the recessive trait. Alleles are one of two genes that occur on a chromosome in a specific location, loci. The allele represents a particular trait. For example, the allele for having freckles can be represented with the uppercase letter F for the dominant trait, and the allele for no freckles with the lowercase letter f for the recessive trait. An individual with alleles with an uppercase F and lowercase f will have freckles. An individual with alleles with two lowercase f's will not have freckles. If the letters of the alleles are either both uppercase letters or both lowercase letters, that is known as homozygous dominant for uppercase and homozygous recessive for lowercase letters, or purebred. If the letters that represent the alleles have one uppercase letter and one lowercase letter, they are known as heterozygous or hybrid. Punnett squares show a representation of the possibilities of the alleles of offspring. If the mother of this Punnett square is heterozygous and the father is recessive homozygous, what will be the possibilities of their offspring? The offspring of these two parents will be phenotype ratio of 2 freckled and 2 not freckled offspring possibilities. A pedigree is a representation of all the individuals in a family and their characteristics. It shows how certain traits have been passed down from generation to generation. It can also be a predictor of future probabilities of inheriting traits and characteristics. How is hair color determined with alleles? There are 5 family members represented in the pedigree. What are the alleles for the parents in the F1 generation? What are the alleles for the offspring in the F2 generation? What are their phenotypes? The 2 daughters in this pedigree have blonde hair and the son has brown. How is eye color determined with alleles? If 2 offspring have blue eyes and the other has brown, what are the alleles of the parents? What will the alleles of the offspring be? Now you have learned how traits get passed from one generation to another generation. You've also gained an understanding of genetic terminology and concepts.